Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Great Wizard Bukake, your host. Cormium Planteer has taken sanctuary in Asgard. King Butthole was equal parts worried and excited about falling for the handsome rogue. Gartok is worried about the prisoner's boredom while they determine if he's a threat. And Quinny couldn't believe jailing someone is such a big deal. Will Cormium turn out to be friend or foe? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
Dum-Dums, you have decided to incarcerate Cormium Planteer, who has come to the nation of Asgard seeking sanctuary under a magical NDA, and someone that Butthole has very complex feelings about. And as a result, he has given you, very kindly, 7 days to figure out whether or not Cormium Planteer poses a physical threat to the kingdom. And Gartok and Quinny, you've taken it upon yourselves to sort that out. Despite losing Gartok's dirt day, you now have 7 days in order to figure out whether or not Cormium is a threat. Current plan is to put him in the dungeon and to figure out who won't be swayed by him, which is a going concern, given the way you've seen him previously manipulate Butthole and just generally people around him. So that's where we left off. What is your plan?
I know what I want to do.
You go first.
Yeah, I was going to say, if Gartok wants a minute, yeah. So if this is still just like moments after our last conversation,
we can
episode,
move to
I do have a question for
sure.
Butthole. I would be approaching Butthole.
Hey, welcome to the new huddle.
Hey, it's just
Goblin Jr.
Goblin Jr.
There's two.
Okay.
Snarf.
I need you to be honest with me again.
Okay.
And you've been great with that. What do you find the most attractive about Cormium?
There's just something like entrancing about him. So at first it was that he was like so pretty.
That part. What is it? What are the pretty parts?
Face, eyes, mouth, the way his eyebrows moved. I really like the general bone structure and the way things are put together. I think there's just sort of a debonair air about him of like caring but not caring. And you could see that. And like the way he dressed suggests that he had such a clear aesthetic. And like, I do not have a clear aesthetic. I don't really understand how aesthetic works. It was sort of like looking at a painting and then a series of paintings all in a row where no matter the angle you look at, you're like, oh, look at me or don't look at me. This is an experience. And then you can only imagine, like, oh my God, he smells so good. Like, I still have the letter of what he smelled like. And he just seemed so charming and kind of effortlessly, like powerful, but also enthused. But also there's so much energy inside him. And like, I saw all that. And then I couldn't look away. It was like watching something incredible. And then, oh, that voice. Then he talked too. And he chose his words so well and so carefully. Like, it was like watching someone dance a dance you haven't even learned. Because like, I'm a war guy as I was raised and like generally abused. And it seems like no one ever did a mean thing to him ever. But at the same time, like he could fence with words in a way that I'm not good at because I'm sort of like I'm a very good listener, but I'm also like a bit of a verbal blunt object in that I don't have like fancy words for things and I don't really get caught up in that because I find that's generally a shield for evil. But with him, it doesn't seem like a shield for evil. It seems like words can be beautiful, and that's really nice. So for someone who hasn't had a lot of like artistic experiences, and then like I haven't really got to touch him very much, but I've got a lot of thoughts on how it could go if I got to touch him, because it just seems like there's a lot of him that's very touchable. And then I imagine, see, here's the other thing is it seems like he was also from probably an emotionally abusive circumstance instead of like mine, which was probably more physical. And like, I'm not drawn to that in a way, but at the same time, it feels like he's also probably survived a lot of the familial expectations that most people don't understand and how that shapes you, trying to live up to them or rejecting them. And it seems like he found a different path that may also have been more successful than mine. So like, I'm impressed, but also envious, because maybe if I had been more like him, maybe my dad would have liked me more.
Yeah, it sounds like you're comparing yourself to him a lot.
Yeah, he seems very different than me, but similar in enough ways that I feel like there could be a real connection.
Okay.
I've had a lot of time to think about this, just kind
Seems
of in
like
downtime, like riding a horse, or like when I don't know what to do, or when I smell that note that he gave me.
How often do you smell that note?
Oh, I don't want to say daily, but I said I wouldn't lie, so pretty much every day.
Do you have it with you right now?
I'm not giving you the note.
I don't want it. Do you have it with you right now?
Oh, yeah, I have the note.
Can you take it out?
I mean, sure. He takes out the note.
Can I smell it? I don't have to touch it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, go for it.
I just want to know, either you or Tom, what is that fragrance?
I don't know what it is. This is a Cormium thing.
I think we described it ages ago.
It smells different now, having been in the bag for a while.
Yeah.
It smells like wet pocket.
Yeah.
All right, butthole.
Quinny, you just get the tail end hint of something that is.
The fires of Rivington.
Yeah. No, it's.
I have it listed as a perfumed note. From
Yeah. It's just like there is still a vaguely lingering scent, still, in spite of the fact that it's like a well-traveled piece of paper, possibly due to the magical nature of his sort of perfumed essence. But it's the kind of perfume or scent that is subtle and pleasant, but not overwhelming or forward, or it's not trying too hard, if that makes any sense. So it really is like you get it, kind of giving this thing a whiff. Like, I don't know how Quinny would feel about it, but in terms of a guy who's stolen a lot of finer
nice,
things and everything else,
I don't have to fall in love with the guy. They can smell nice.
Yeah, for sure. But it's the kind of thing where it's all you sniff and you're like, why the fuck? What is he talking about? It's like, okay, I understand
he's
what
a fancy
this
guy. I get it.
This was, yeah. And you would have smelt this on him too, like when you encountered him.
Okay.
But you do not smell it on him now. This is not a smell you've smelt before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Thinking about it, Cormium also seems to like really represent his own needs at all times. And my needs tend to come about 3 or 4 things down the list at any given moment of my life from birth until now and on an ongoing basis. So there's a bit of a like a power fantasy to that of like, I wish I could be more like Cormium in some ways. And imagine if I was the only person that he really cared about in addition to himself. Wouldn't that be magical? I'd be inside and protected by someone who could like look after me and them. That'd be great, because I'm not always great at looking after me, what with hurling myself into danger and seconding all of my wants to the needs of a kingdom.
Do you ever write any of this down?
No.
You probably should.
Why? Who would want to read this? Ugh.
Not for other people to read.
Oh. Well, then why?
To get it out. Who else have you told? Who else have you spoken to like this?
Oh, no, I'd think about it.
No, that's different. Have you ever written it down? It's different to write it down.
I don't want to write it down. Then someone could know.
You can throw it in the fire. This is the thing that I talked to you about with you write a letter to someone.
I guess.
Someone you like a lot.
Oh, no. I don't. I would never write a letter to him about any of this. That'd be really embarrassing.
That's
also,
fine.
You don't want him to know all my secrets.
I don't want you to get bogged down in the rules of writing. I think the exercise of writing could be helpful to you.
Oh, because you don't want to hear it?
No, that's not the reason at all. Thank you for telling me. I just think it would be good for you.
Okay.
You're talking about putting other people's needs. I understand that maybe you're trying to reverse engineer why I want you to do this, why it satisfies a need of mine. It doesn't.
Oh, okay.
You can do this for you. I think it would be good for you.
And Goblin Jr. will nudge you in his role. He has some gesture that indicates he's therapy dog. He probably like puffs up his chest a little bit and does a little like hand prance to show that he's really official. And then he just nods over.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's super official.
Snarf. And nods over at Quinny and gives you like
I'll write crap down. I just want to be clear that I'm logically, because I don't see a value in it, I'm going to be doing it for you to start with, and then maybe I'll find value.
Maybe. You can stop if you feel silly. I just think you would like it.
Okay.
Cool.
What do you need any of this stuff for, though? Because you had me tell a bunch of it to you before I'm supposed to write it down.
This is, this is going to be security information.
Okay. I guess I told you to be in charge of security and that I couldn't really object to anything, so go for it.
Yeah. Tom, my plan is to ruin each and every one of these features about Cormium as long as he's in our custody. We're going to man in iron mask this guy all to fucking hell.
Okay. So
I saw you writing all these down. I didn't know what I'd expected. But
well, good
I
luck
should have
ruining my
expected
emotional bond to someone traumatized similarly but differently.
Yep. It's gonna go on a journey.
So with that, you return to Cormium, who is still face down in the dirt, and said,
Yep,
"So may I have sanctuary here?"
You're in the hands of the Chief Justice.
The goblin.
That's correct. Sometimes the goblin.
Okay,
I won't always be a goblin.
I understand.
Will
Chief
always
Justice.
be the Chief Justice.
Yes.
You got
Yep.
it. Good.
And he stands, and I think and like struggles to stand. He's clearly in a lot of physical discomfort, and kind of winces as he kind of gets up, and he's a little hunched, and he just like holds his wrists out. As I assume though that I am not free here. I accept your shackles willingly if you must shackle me. I don't know what you expect that these hands can do. And his hands look pretty fucking rough. They were very clear, like he's got I've never worked a day in my life hands that have started working. So they're...
I would like to be clear up front that this is not an imprisonment. If you choose to leave, we will let you walk out of here. However, until we determine the full nature of whatever spell, contract, crap that you're under, and how it might impact us, you will be kept safely, securely for the protection of everyone in this nation for a period of time.
And his eyes well up with tears. And he staggers forward and throws his arms around you and just says, "Thank you. Thank you."
See? Says Butthole to Quinny. See? Hugging.
Quinny's rolling his eyes.
Hugging.
And then he realizes what he's doing, like pushes himself off and immediately drops to the dirt. Quick glance at Quinny, drops to the dirt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Bring it in. Come on up here. Come on, you need another one. Oh wow, I wasn't expecting this.
And now he's super awkward about it, and it's like he doesn't know how to hug. And
It's okay.
Your
buddy.
nation is very strange.
Now Butthole's looking at Quinny. His feelings hurt because apparently Quinny and Gartok get to just hug Cormium all they want. Pretend it's a security student. It's just hugs.
Yeah, and...
Dude, he was crying.
Yeah, and at first...
Gartok clocks it. It's like, Butthole, relax.
Yeah, and Gartok, you feel he's like kind of adjusting his arms a little bit as he tries to hug you, because you can tell that like his instinct is to go for like a dip someone embrace, and he doesn't really know how to do just like a comfortable hug. So now that he's not caught up in the moment of it, he's trying really hard, and it's very like genuinely confuddled and sort of like, I'm sorry, I'm bad at this.
Gartok is just going to push this a little bit more. Just be like,
You're going to be okay, buddy. Come on with me.
And he like does that thing where like if someone's makeup's getting fucked up, where he just like pulls the hood aside to quickly wipe his eyes and then flips the hood back. Now they realize
can I do an
like,
insight to like whether like how, because I feel like this is genuine. It's not a great insight. 14.
Unfortunately, he's a pretty high level character, so you do not know. But he straightens up a little bit and says, "This may come as a surprise, but no one has ever said that to me before. That is very kind. Thank you. Lead on, Chief Justice. I will follow."
All right. And then Gartok, you, come with me.
To 3 of the town watch that are
standing
around
outside the zone of truth.
Yeah.
And as they come forward, the one guy looks at you, Butthole, and just says, "It was a good sandwich. I just particularly like the mush. I'm sorry, my lord."
Hey, you love mush you do you. You know what? We all love things that sometimes are challenging and other people don't understand, he says, looking at Quinny before looking back. But you have all the mush you want because that's what you deserve. You deserve to be happy.
Thank you, my lord. May you find your mush in your time. And he follows follows Chief Justice and Cormium away, leaving Butthole, Goblin Jr., and Reginald. Unless you're bringing Reginald with you. I know, Quinny, you talked about maybe bringing him in on
I want to bring Reginald
Okay,
in,
so Reginald go with you, and Butthole.
Oh, damn. I thought no one would notice me and I could just hide.
Yeah, sorry. You got to do work.
He follows.
Yeah, leaving Butthole to his thoughts, sort of alone in the field. I'm imagining kind of a Homer Simpson thinking about his mom, staring at the stars moment of just like standing alone in a field.
This wolf just petting the head.
Yep.
Then turning to go back to the castle.
A king alone in a field.
He came out with bodyguards and they all left to do work. Yeah. So he's going back to the castle solo.
All right. So with Reginald in tow, you make your way into the castle, down into the again, fairly bleak dungeon under the castle. That is also, I think we established, kind of underused because they just killed people. You were previously, when you were taking over the kingdom, keeping people in the arena. But I think you just want to use the Black Castle's dungeon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you go down into and Cormium is looking around, and
everyone's following. Everyone's coming with
the people you wanted.
Butthole went separately.
Yeah.
Okay, but everyone else is accompanying.
You have Town
Wanna make
Watch
sure.
with you. You probably pick up a couple hammerers when you arrive. You make your way kind of down into the depths of the dungeon. As you go down the stairs, Cormium's like, hooray, I'm going to be fine, starts to drain away a bit because the dungeons of Akka are not a great place. But you find an appropriate cell, and the giant hardcore metal door spikes.
Gartok sense. I'd like Gartok to sense this kind of shift in him, and just say, trying to make conversations like,
I turn into a wolf in that one sometimes.
And he looks and says, oh dear.
And I ate my father's head in the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty bleak place, but we'll make it as comfortable as we can.
I had a blanket fort near here once. It was a pretty good place.
When our nations were at war, we used to spread propaganda of how dangerous and deadly and terrible Akka was. We really didn't hit the mark. We did not go that hard. You guys go hard here, huh?
Yeah, it's unexpectedly weird.
Yes. Unexpectedly weird. That will be a welcome change, I suspect. Okay, so this is to be my cell then, I suppose?
Yeah. Crap. I think we maybe should get some blankets and a mattress and a pillow and,
Yes, right now it's just stone, and there's that skeleton over there.
Yeah, can we click?
Gartok's just gonna Gartok's gonna go in and just kind of like shove the skeleton kind of into his pack and just,
Oh my God.
wheel out.
Break up the skeleton into individual ones.
Yeah.
Cormium just watches the whole time.
We haven't been here that long, and this is a holdover from the previous administration.
Previous tenant.
I see, yes. Well, I sincerely hope I do not meet his same fate. I heard talk of entertainments, perhaps?
Yeah, what your favorite games?
Have you Crocodile Dentist?
Actually, surprisingly, I think we do.
I've always wanted to play it.
We did play that on the way to.
We have played
It's inside the
Crocodile
glamping
Dentist.
tent.
Yeah. Okay.
It's somewhere around here.
In the Planteer Nation, we tend to play games of magic and cantrips more than anything else. It's a subtle show of status, a way for us to show our aptitude. If I'm being honest, we pretended it was fun, but usually it was just a way for various people to show how cleanly the magic ran in their blood.
Well,
I
I've got proficiency in dice, so I'm going to kick your ass in some dice.
Gartok is like, I could banish you temporarily for old time's sake. Would that make you feel comfortable?
I'm already banished enough, thank you. No,
Oh.
I merely suggest that this
This guy's funny.
This dice you suggest playing sounds
Yes, dice.
Dice.
Dice?
Yes, nailed it.
Dice.
Dice sounds good. Crocodile Dentist sounds good. If games that don't require any use of magic, as I find myself rather bereft, would be wonderful. Also, no games of bluffing. I understand I'm somewhat suspect here, so I don't.
Do you
want
like
to
cards? There's someone I know well who likes to play cards.
I mean, he just said no bluffing. So what cards are you thinking? Just a simple game of war?
War's fine.
Oh, a card game with clear bluffing rules would be fine. I don't want to play any games of voice bluff where you pretend to be deception. I don't. What is this cards? Are they magical cards? We have a game called Magic in the Planteer Nation, where you summon small creatures and they fight for you depending on how much mana you summon. The card itself is really just a way for us to indicate what powers we have. It's actual magic. I want to be clear. It's not just paper, but yours is just paper.
All right, I'm pretty much done here. Are we just putting him in the box?
Yeah,
Please.
let's just get some dice and Crocodile Dentist.
Oh my
Yep,
God.
we'll get you a bed and some games or whatever. See you soon.
And
some
you do that.
doilies, I
Wait,
guess.
you will play the dice with me at some point.
Yep, I've got proficiency. And he closes the door and locks it.
Very good. You're dismissed? I'm sorry. I don't know how any of this works.
Oh, you stay here and we leave. Have a good night. And he's just going to walk everybody down the hallway to the guard station in the middle. It's just got a collection of axes still on the wall. He's like, we don't really come down here to deal with this. I'm going to get all the tools of execution out of here and the hoods.
Good call.
There's a pile of guillotines at weird angles.
Yeah.
You all had a collection of huddles that I couldn't hear. I was hoping to avoid being brought into this. What do you want me to do?
This guy needs to be held here securely, but I guess with some degree of comfort. The main thing here is he needs to be held in a way that makes sure that if someone comes to talk to him, he can't be overly influential on them.
Yeah, we should probably designate someone who has like the authority to grant requests so that it's not up to like individual guards.
I think I want to be present anytime someone speaks to him. He doesn't need to know that I'm present. I can wait outside the cell and stuff like that, but could both of your guards, respectively, let me know anytime someone wants to speak with him?
Okay, well, maybe he could like make requests like twice a day.
I just want to check. When we're talking about a level of security here, are we talking my level of paranoid security or
Yes.
your level of comfortable strangeness?
Both.
Yours. Quinny.
I'm going to need to know who's in charge.
All right, roll me. Yes. What are we going with here? Persuasion, I guess.
Okay.
You as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to know who to listen to.
Oh no.
That's a 1, so I'll re-roll that because I'm lucky.
18. Oh, fuck you.
The usual, the lucky special, a 1 and now a 19, plus persuasion, 22.
All right, Town Watcher not welcome. I'm going to do a whole bunch of paranoid shit. You don't get to know anything about it. He doesn't get games. He's going to get some comfortable stuff to go in there. I'll
What?
supervise this from top to bottom. Spoiler alert, no visitors, no requests. No one knows he's here. Unfortunately for you, I'm going to need to hold the 3 town guards you brought into this building on the same floor.
But comfort.
Yeah, well, he'll have a mattress that's a lot more comfortable than being dead. And in my world, traditionally, I would just knife him and shove him down the stairs.
This isn't a punishment.
It absolutely is not, but it is paranoia. So you are also going to have to leave, and I'm going to move him cells, and you're not going to know where he is.
What?
Yeah, you're not allowed to visit either
Wait, we
without
need
Quinny's
some
permission.
oversight.
Absolutely. Quinny's overseeing. He'll do that from somewhere else.
I want to be here when he talks to anyone,
I
including
mean, why
you.
would I let anyone in? You're going to do it, or he stays in a box. I'm at supreme level of paranoid that I don't think you're fully comfortable or aware of.
No, I have a vague understanding of that. I've experienced it firsthand a couple of times.
Yep.
The king is going to come down here and talk to him.
Oh, all right. Well, you bring the king. Otherwise, the king doesn't come down here.
Okay,
Okay,
so
we
me and
need
the
someone
king,
to deliver food and water.
Yeah, I could do that with hammerers.
Okay. Just make sure that it's like regular food and like clean and not moldy.
And-
This isn't a punishment.
You can leave. Like, just so you know, you can go, and I'll take care of all of this. It's
I-
my job now. You police the city. I police this dungeon.
countermeasures need to be non-lethal.
Are you telling me how to do my job, or am I telling you how I do my job?
I'm not telling you how to do your job, but your
Great.
job is to
Not murder the prisoner that we're trying to hang on to?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a high-value target. Why would I let him go?
Thank you.
He doesn't get to die, but anybody who comes after him does. Welcome to hell. This is my dungeon.
All right. No
And-
mistreatment.
Okay.
And I'm going to be coming and going with a few adjustments to his wardrobe.
Yep, you'll be good to go as well.
Okay. I gotta talk to Anon, and then I'm gonna have to talk to Leanne about sourcing a couple weird things.
Leanne's the one to talk to. So
Yeah.
you get out there, you police that city, and this is my realm now. Even the king answers to me under this ground.
Gartok, when it comes to me and Butthole going to see this guy, you will be welcome
I'd like
come
to
too.
be
Yes,
present
you will
too,
be there
thank
too.
you.
For sure you will.
Anybody who comes with Quinny can come on down.
Yeah.
Anybody else can go fuck themselves.
That is what I want to hear. Thank you.
And with that, Reginald sets about doing his Reginald thing, and probably, honestly, one of the most, like, to his actual proficiency and interests jobs he's ever gotten to do. And the rest of you retire for the evening because it is still the middle of the fucking night. It's dawn. I mentioned the sun rising. That hasn't happened yet because all of you did a bunch of interstitial shit. This has become a Lion King 1.5 situation, or Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Now it is time to go to bed. So it's an exhausting day. You got back from Baldur's Gate not that long ago. So you all tuck in for the evening, knowing that you have jobs to do in the morning. The sun rises over Asgard, and the castle is busy with administration running around. Again, it's an odd thing to wake up to, but it's basically City Hall in here now as well. So there's just like clerks and things running around with paperwork. And there's both a sense of, I'm sure, relief to that. There's no, violence or horror going on. It's just paperwork and bureaucracy, which it is its own sense of horror. But also, it's not a world that any of you are proficient in or comfortable with. So it's cool, but it's it's a little bit like when people are setting up an event or something where it's like you're technically a part of it, but it's happening around you. So, West Wing shit's going on all over the place. There are hammerers set up around the content hut, keeping people from properly using the Toriel portal.
Regretting that?
Yes and no. I kind of knew what I was getting into. Toriel is a hard enough word to say on its own, but again, season 8, gotta go global. The sun is rising. Bucarius has been scraped up and boxed in case the king needs whatever remained. And we find ourselves in a new day. So Quinny, obviously you had some things you wanted to attend to. Butthole, did you didn't go to the dungeons. You kind of were able to go back up to your rooms and get a proper rest. What's number 1 on your list this morning?
Butthole, honestly, is just back to city admin. There's a bunch of stuff he needs to rubber stamp. He's got to check into the legalities on the Toriel hut. But at this point, he's just going to be a king. They're doing a thing. There's nothing specifically. He's waiting for things to come in. So this is a lot more taking petty meetings in the hall for people who need to see the king, answering letters that have been written, responding to international correspondence, anything Anon has on the to-do list, any glad handing that generally needs to be done. There's a lot of it that's just procedural, which is really you getting led around by functionally like the president. The chief of staff really decides your day.
Yep.
And he's just working that day.
Great. Okay.
Needs to distract himself. Cormium's on his mind, but not for 6 more days. He must get through this week.
Okay, great. So before Quinny, although Quinny, how early would you be trying to get to Anne and Leanne? Is this just I'll get to them when I can get to them, or is it like I must talk to them immediately?
It's first thing because it's an openly admitted weakness by Butthole, so it takes a bit more priority than just Quinny's usual stuff.
Okay, so Anon is late to meet you, Butthole, because Quinny has I would make you all roll for initiative on your day, but I think Quinny ambushing Anon is probably
Butthole will take this time to write down his thoughts about Cormium Planteer.
Okay, so Quinny, do you go to Leanne or Anon first?
Anon first.
Great.
Anon wakes up, and I am in the bedroom with an apple. She wakes up beside Yevgenovich.
He's at Forlorn Hope.
He's at Forlorn Hope. Sorry, yeah.
Right. Yeah. She's too busy. Too busy for no time for love, Dr. Jones.
Yeah. I'm sitting like in the windowsill, like with the window open. And I've got an apple and a sandwich.
She just sits up with like a hand crossbow from under her pillow and goes, and just like. Again, someone who's worked in hospitality her whole life, not something that she's ever advertised, but like full face mask. She's got she's like really properly done up in luxury, despite sleeping on a bed covered in paper.
Her look does not happen by accident.
And just like up with the crossbow, but also kind of like blinking bleary eyed, and sees you in the windowsill and goes, "Oh,
morning.
Yeah, morning.
Here's breakfast."
Oh, you really are a sneaky little boy.
So they say. I say that.
They all do now. Just shoves the crossbow under a pillow.
Here you go. Apple, sandwich. It's honestly the only things I've seen you eat.
Yeah, I try not to make. I've been told I'm a messy eater, so I try and make a habit of not doing it in front of. It's the old hospitality thing. Like they don't want to see you as a person. They just kind of want it. Hello, hi, welcome to the.
Right,
you know how it goes. Takes a big bite. She just kind of gets up and says, well, obviously, normally I don't greet company in this, but you're here, so what can I do for you?
Yeah. Sorry, this is urgent.
Nah, I get it.
Cormium Planteer swung by the kingdom the other day.
No. Just takes a big bite of the apple. No.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, where'd you? Okay, so you need a body disappeared. Doesn't Reginald just normally do that?
Yeah.
On his own?
He came asking for sanctuary, and Butthole and Gartok granted it to him. He's in the dungeons right now.
So we
I
have
like that it's just Butthole and Gartok when he is emotionally unengaged from the sanctuary.
we got a Planteer in our basement.
We do.
The day after Captain Planteer dropped a corpse on our yard.
Yeah.
Okay, neat.
Butthole's infatuated with him,
Of course. Yeah.
crushing like super hard. like I know he's got like feelings for me sometimes. This is a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I understand from your previous adventures, doesn't Cormium have some kind of power? Isn't his enchantment sort of make people fall in love with him? He affects their emotions. Is he doing that?
He says he doesn't have his magic anymore. From what I can
Very
tell.
convenient. So I don't have my magic anymore. That's cool.
He said it in his own of truth. From what I can tell, he was telling the truth. He's also magically NDA'd.
Great.
I got to ask you, does this feel like Mavis Silverwater to you? Does this feel like a weird play? Because this is the perfect POW to get dropped on our stoop and really mess things up for Butthole Farch.
I mean, that does sound like Mavis. Magical NDA definitely sounds like Mavis, so she is deeply non-magical. Most of us in the class weren't, otherwise we would have been at, like, I don't know, Strixhaven or one of the actual magic schools. I don't know messing up Butthole makes sense, but if Captain Planteer is earnestly trying to make friends or amends or basically stop you all from murdering him, I don't know.
He just wants safety. He has nothing to offer us. He was on his hands and knees with his dumb face in the dirt, begging for it.
Honestly, Quinny, your guess is as good as mine at this point. The timing is bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you were looking for someone you know is infatuated with you and he just declared himself the god king of a nation, we didn't exactly hide that. So he could have just come here as soon as he heard word that a Ka had fallen and Asgard had risen. I don't like any of it, but what else is new?
Okay. Just wanted your insight on this. I had Butthole outline everything that he finds attractive about him, both physically and metaphysically, and I'm looking to basically create conditions that are the opposite of all of that.
Okay, yeah. I was going to question your sanity for a minute there, but that makes sense to me. Okay, what do you need from me?
I think Leanne can get the practicals, but I might need your help with the magicals. What's our mage situation like? I know we've got like 2 or 3 off the top of my head, but
I don't trust
they're all blow stuff up kind of magic.
Yeah, I don't trust
people.
the Ka mages very much at all. Falmire Pink Blossom is our most adept magical ally, but she has returned to the Misty Forest.
Any good illusionists? I'm thinking that's the most harmless, right?
Well,
and just it'll make the guy look and smell and sound different.
Honestly, if we're not looking for destruction magic, the best person we have on staff is Mosefus Dirt. His magic has always been kind of peripheral, mixology based. He doesn't have a lot of practical applications in the field, but something like this, and since his brush with death, he does seem to be rather more committed to the cause than simply mixing drinks and being a layabout. I'm sure he'd be eager to help. I'm not sure what he can do, but he would be the one I would advise.
Okay. Maybe a daily morning potion with his meal.
Yeah. He may be able to do other things as well. I'm not sure what the great Cornholio, his patron, can provide, but he does have a patron. And I will say I am making progress on our magic school problem. We should have access to more mages soon, but not as of yet. But yes, I would say check with Mo Dirt. And Quinny, I know Butthole makes a lot of these decisions. If you could please help us find people with more reasonable names. It is getting very difficult to run a nation of Mo Dirts and Butthole Farches and Farthole Farches. And I say that as someone whose child is named after a fart.
Sure, yeah. No, the market's getting crowded and we need We need that brand awareness.
Brand awareness. Yes. I know the Minister of Culture title is somewhat surface level, but we kind of do need some culture around here. I know I've overheard many conversations about plays, and I understand you haven't ever seen one. So perhaps getting some form of theater up and running here in town might be a nice welcome distraction from the content hut.
Yeah, yeah. I guess we got to combat that whole fiasco with Asgard kind of homegrown entertainment.
I've also heard tell that there are a number of people waiting to kind of make pitches for businesses or services they would like to set up here in Asgard. I've kicked that all down the field a little bit, to borrow a sports metaphor, because we have simply been too busy, but it might be useful just to the greater overall health and, say, prosperity of Asgard to start to get some of these things going. I suspect as our notoriety rises, so too will the interest of folks in assisting or building the nation. I know these are secondary concerns, but they are on my plate, and I want to put just an edge of them on yours.
I get it. And honestly, I'm due. So, yeah, fair enough. Let me know what you need, and I will try to make that happen. You want me to look into Asgard theater? I can do that. Asgard fucking sports team? I can look into that.
I think getting those set up would be excellent, but I don't think you need to personally do them necessarily.
No, I
but
won't.
If you can find someone, I'm a little tied up with legalities. On that
try to
note,
make sure they
I
have
need to
normal
go check in on the content hut situation. Butthole wanted to report on that, and I'm sure he is already awake and raring to go. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to put my face on and then go deal with all of this. You know, I was so thrilled to be out of working the front desk. The front desk smile hurts much after a time. And here I am running another fucking hotel.
I hear you. It's weird how you try to change, get away from your past. It still kind of sticks to you in these weird ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for what it's worth, I know you'd probably rather be, slinking around on a second story, third story. I don't know. Well, how many stories do you do for stealing things?
I don't know. This isn't bad. We're pretty high up.
Okay, great. Yeah. Rather be lurking around stealing things right now, and I appreciate that you're helping us with this. I also appreciate Ginny. I know you two haven't known each other very long, but I think she's an excellent addition to all of this.
I am inclined to agree.
Well, thank you for the sandwich and the apple.
Hey, what are friends for?
Thank you, Quinny.
I'll send you the bill. And I will jump out the window.
And she gives you her best front desk smile as you do.
Canonically, I don't think you can jump out the window. So you try, but the windows don't open. So you hit the window.
Ow.
And she just says, so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And shows you the door.
No, and I'll dimension door out. I can't. I simply cannot. Dimension door. That's how I must have gotten in. So that's my 2 spell slots gone.
Great. All right. So, Butthole, you write down some thoughts and feelings.
Yep. I have an idea. I log it for myself on the kingdom front because he can't help but be a king in the king half of his brain as opposed to the god half of his brain. And he has those moments of like, he's going to burn everything he writes because there's no point. Quinny knows what he needs to know, and then there's no need for a record of any of this. It doesn't feel meaningful to him in any way doing this time. I think it's like meditating. You start something in the first time, you're not going to be like, anybody who does it the first time is like, this changed my whole life.
The moment is instant.
Yeah, and then it's like, cool, you'll do it for 2 days and stop.
What's a habit?
But he started it. He did it. He sat there. He's still not sure what he was supposed to get out of it, but he did it. And I guess he burns that, and then Anon probably shows up because he would have just written and then been like, ugh.
So Anon comes in with just a bunch of cards that she's flipping through that her staff have given her for kind of like the important things of the day so far. And she says, good morning, Butthole. Did you rest at all?
Oh, I mean, I slept and then I did a lot of thinking.
Okay, so 50-50.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
How about you? Do you have a good sleep?
I had sleep.
Great. Would you like a coffee or a tea or something? There's a burbling station in the corner. He's like, I had them bring that in for you because I felt like you needed it.
Thank you. Yes. And she goes over and pours both into one cup. And she says, at this point, I'm just hoping for the best.
You are powerful. I just want to say, if you're drinking a mix of that,
yeah, it's not good, but it does work. I have a number of tasks that require your attention today on the kingdom front. However, I thought you would probably want to hear about the content hut first. So it would seem that the Hammerers were only negatively affected because they attacked it. It is a defense mechanism not dissimilar to ones we've seen throughout the richer parts of Aka. I saw it previously on some of the VIP areas of the Mirage. Fairly basic, mid-grade deterrent, so certainly more powerful than a little light. Don't do this. But also was it clerics or hammerers?
It was acolytes.
Acolytes. The acolytes attacked it with somewhat more gusto. I suspect it may have been force given for force received. One of those sorts of situations. So by all other accounts, and we had Reginald take a look as well, it seems that it is benign unless attacked. That said, I'm aware you don't want it at all.
Correct. And I don't want anybody to have defenses that can hurt people. It's a building. People are more important than buildings.
Yes. So if that is true, we will need to talk about dismantling a lot of the private residence security throughout the richer parts of town. I believe you and the team encountered one of these fences yourselves.
Yep.
They're fairly common and are present throughout Asgard.
Okay.
So you can make an edict that no one is allowed to have that if you'd like, and we can move on that.
Well, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? For me, it's one of those things where I'm like, I wouldn't legally say if someone touches your stuff, you can punch them in the face. And this feels like it kind of falls into that category.
Yes, that's true. And again, a wall is a deterrent. An electrified wall is a deterrent with a middle finger sticking out of it. So,
yeah, take him down.
Great. So I will piss off the upper class.
Oh, yeah. Simultaneously, if you want to make a note, we're in this weird time of turmoil, and I'm aware that the rich people tend to flee anywhere where they can't do, shall we say, self-interested harm.
And I believe canonically, this is Tom, not Anon, I think we have actually stripped the rich of Aka for money to build shit. So they are also kind of like, they still have more than everyone else, but like they've been heavily taxed.
Great. Let's just make a note that, let's say for the next year, for people owning property above a certain value, just make sure it's the ultra rich, top 5 to like 1 to 5%. Figure out whatever you think is reasonable. The emigration tax is 95% of anything that crosses the border out of this if they want to move somewhere else. If you want to keep your wealth here, we're happy to help you grow it. But if you want to take your wealth somewhere else to try to bet on something else and shaft the people who have been taken advantage of for generations here, we're going to keep that money.
Little smile as she writes this all down. Very good. All right. So I read the terms and conditions of the Toriel portal inside the content hut. It seems it's connected to a series of an interconnected web of portals to information and other things. It can be searched. There seems to be a search imp named Bringo who is inside. He's not very good at answering questions, often redirects you to the wrong portal site, but he is there.
Okay.
It seems to be a free service. The various portal sites aren't entirely owned by the Planteers. It doesn't seem to be a Planteer thing. That said, based on the terms and conditions, it would seem that Captain Planteer is trying his best, possibly under Mavis's influence, to make this as reasonable as possible. There is a, for lack of a better term, live and let live policy where if we do not want his interference, he will remove it. So if we simply send them a Tor mail informing them that we do not want a content hut available in Asgard, they will send the same team to dismantle it that set it up, and it will be inoperable.
Great. Let's get it down.
Wonderful. I will get in touch with that team. I can also ask them about.
Yeah, exactly.
adding the
Get them
things
on
we need.
site and see if we can hire their people. That'd be great.
Will do. So that will take care of our content hut problem. It will mean we cannot receive broadcasts, but I assume that is for the best.
We don't have control over those broadcasts, so that's just somebody who's got a loudhailer to our entire kingdom.
Would you like us to see if we can bring that piece of it into the castle somewhere where it can be privately viewed?
If you think we can actually do that safely and it's not bringing in something dangerous, because I cannot describe how much I do not trust Captain Planteer or his tech team, if you think we can bring it in to use it, yes, I'd be happy to see what the broadcasts are for us. Or if there's some way for us to lock it down so we can approve the broadcast ourselves if it's going over Asgard airspace, I'm fine with that. That might actually be a useful source of revenue because we're short on that. Might be something that we could use ourselves under emergency circumstances or other things. I just can't have them doing it without our permission.
Yes, it seems to be rigged for that specifically, but it does only seem to be a one-way communication. There doesn't seem to be anything, no information is being passed back. So if we want it purely to receive whatever they are broadcasting, we can move it somewhere safe. And
Let's do that. I'd love to get a receiver.
great. That said, we can look into the viability of our own system of I mean, if
We've got the eye yelling, but yeah, we might be able to do
if
something
Toriel
fancier.
Portal Explorer isn't good enough, some kind of Chrome perhaps, or a Flaming Fox, something that is slightly better.
Flaming
and
Fox sounds pretty good. Yeah,
Yes,
let's look into that. Let's look into coming up with our own. I think it's a useful service. I'm aware that there are a lot of bad actors in any of these kind of web-based industries.
Correct, yes.
And I want to make sure that they can't take financial, political, or militaristic advantage of our general processes. We're trying to create a democracy, and outside influence would be really easy to create through a web that we don't have, safeguards over.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'll get to work on that. You know who could really help us with that? A college worth of mages.
Yeah, we should do that.
We should do that.
Okay, so that's on our to-do list. I had a thought. Do you want to hear my thought, or do you want to keep going on your list?
You're the king, so I will hear your thought.
Okay, you'd mentioned a problem with like a lot of adventurers swinging around.
Yes.
And being in the kingdom, and it's a bit of a problem. And we also have a bit of a revenue problem at the
Correct.
same time. What I was thinking was, if we set up, I'm not going to say mercenary guild, but it's functionally a mercenary guild. We could set up kind of like a hall of heroes. The idea that we could do ranked adventuring teams that we send on assignments where we take a cut. So there's revenue coming to the nation. We also get to choose the missions they go on, which sets us up in like peacekeeping and helping around the world, because we know if I'm going to get stuck doing it, it's free advertising for us being able to help out anyways. And it'd be a way for, we've got like 3 captains of the Hammers right now, and I don't know if they need that many. Crendon is already a traveling hero who could absolutely help figure that out. And then when they rank, we could have like a medal ceremony or something. So it's a great way to meet people, send them on missions that could help us, bump into them. And we'd know the names for like future Hammerers, Town Watch, other things of people we want to ID for Asgard. Crandon's a pretty great scout for that. It's just may have been on your list, but it's idea ahead.
It was not, but I think it is something we should implement. I should, however, inform you that Crendon is currently in the hospital. He had a rather strange physical occurrence a couple days ago, and he's currently under care.
Okay, yeah, I should go visit him today. We'll put that on the list, but okay.
He seems stable, just
Great.
under observation. But yes, a Hall of Heroes situation. Do you have a title for this?
Right now I just kind of had the Hall of Heroes, but is there something that we think we should do? Should we open this up?
I'm happy to think on it, but for now...
Great. I'm going to make a note. I'll fish for ideas in case we get anything good from Gartok and Quinny. I'll think on it as well. We'll come up with something that feels right.
Excellent. So on that note, we actually have a guest waiting downstairs, if you have a moment, who is interested in working for us, not in a hero capacity, but in a city capacity.
Okay. Who we got?
All right.
What's the dealio?
And she leads you downstairs, and you enter the sort of greeting hall, and you get positioned. You can like pull up on the throne or whatever.
Regal wolf beside me.
Yep, that's right. And she nods and patted 2 eyes. Goes, okay, I'll call right now. And she says, hey Blaze, you're up. Don't fuck it up. And the doors open, and a wood elf walks in, with like laced up boots, with a walking stick, a little like wooden medallion around her neck, and just a winning grin. And she just says, Well, hey there. My name is Blaze Verda. And she like bows and flips the hat and she says, and I think you might have a little tourism problem. And honestly, I would just love to help.
Tell me what you have in mind.
King Butthole, have you ever considered parks?
I've heard of them. I've had nice times near trees.
Me too. I think camping's a wonderful way to get people excited. And honestly, this whole region, little deadly, little violent. Now, look, I've heard tell of what your Chief Justice has been doing out there. I've heard about the gardens. I've heard about the things growing. And I think we have a unique opportunity here for some outdoorsy stuff, something that isn't just dying in a desert, you know? And that's kind of what this region's been known for, both because of your forebears and also just the general region. And I think both with the natural beauty of the desert and what your Chief Justice is building, what Juniper, and like you see a little like glint in her eye, she says the name, is building here, has the potential to be something beautiful, something wonderful, something people come to not because they're seeking adventure or fame or fortune, but just because it's a good way to get to know the world and get to know yourself.
Yeah, I agree. What Juniper's doing is great. What do you want to do?
I want to help. I want to help run it.
Okay, what does that involve for us to do?
Well, I'm probably going to need some other rangers, and I might be coming to you with some requests for, small beautification thing. I don't have any. I have some minor amounts of powers. Good berry, and she pulls a little pouch out with berries in it.
I mean, yeah, why not? He'll try berry.
Are they good?
Well, that's pretty good.
Hence the name. She like sticks it back in her little pouch. She says, but a lot of the time I just go to a place and it's already the exact way it is. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of nice too. But it occurred to me that with the powers that Juniper has, we could help craft it and shape it into something.
I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but like you seem like really salesy right now.
Yeah.
I like this idea. So let's just talk.
Wow, okay. Sorry, it's just most nations are really concerned about war and fighting and adventuring and leveling up. And not many people care about just having some parks and recreation in their place.
No, I like this idea a lot.
Okay, so I can just go and start getting stuff.
I mean, what do you need?
Well, I'm going to need some helpers. I'm going to need to talk to Juniper just to make sure I'm not stepping on any toes. I want to make sure the path I'm treading on is one that we've set out cleanly and I'm not ruining anything naturally. And of course, I need your blessing. You're the king, and I don't want to bring people here if that's not what you want. I see an opportunity here, and well, gosh darn it, I kind of thought it'd be a nice way to help.
All right, just a second. He's going to turn to Anon and be like, "Is there a trick here I'm missing?"
Let's roll some insight.
That is a 14.
14. You're not picking anything up, and Anon says, I think the only trick is that we end up with half another Bucky.
I like Bucky. All right, yeah, we'll sort out the financial details. We can't commit very much right now, but if we could start bringing in revenue, we could turn this around pretty quick. I like forests. I like nature. I like camping. I like any positive activity. Hell yeah, let's get you talking to Juniper.
Well, that's great. And I'm not in it for the money, in it for the nature. So that'll be just great. All right,
then let's build shitloads of nature. And we'll still give you some money.
Well, that'd be jolly decent of you. Okay. And then Ann's like, you can speak to someone out there. They'll get you set up. Juniper will, like, just all details. Like, Juniper will come find you when there's time. Go fucking parks it up over there. We go.
Goodbye.
Go. And just kind of like tipping her hat and leaving. And Anna looks at you, Butthole, and says, that might be the weirdest thing that's happened since we took over. I think that's just someone who genuinely wants to help and doesn't want anything in return. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that's kind of what we're aiming for. We've had a lot of Serafina Bellwinters, and I want more Shade Verdes.
Blaze Verda.
That's it. I want more of that one.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to start like a holistic business, not care about the money, and just want to do good things for the community on the meeting list?
And she, to your surprise and delight, fans out the cards and just holds them up and says, yeah, actually, there's a bunch.
Hell yeah, let's do this.
And with that, she calls the door. Patty Two Eyes takes a big, deep breath and yells, next!
God.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante, Tyler Hewitt, and Laura Hamstra, alongside our Dungeon Master, Tom McGee. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dumb-Dumbs and Dragons artwork was created by Del Borovic at delborovic.com. That's DELBOROVIC.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad breaks use the tracks No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR. All of their music is available at freemusicarchive.org. For all things Dum-Dums and Dice, including merchandise and how to join our Patreon, you can visit dumdumdice.com or find us on social media at dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons.
Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: George Dolby, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Alarain Okapi, Madre de Gatos, Mithrian, Garbo Ape, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dia de los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy Funky Head, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky, Lael, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, Panda24NN, Shendra D, Your Homeboy Bones, Ellis Hatch, Odigenous, Kai Koa, Squire Solaire, Sandy Sassy Pants, Amira Lockhart, James Molina, Nick Hemsing, Alex LaFountain, Mickey Blake, Seth Cambron, Corpse Knight Silver, Adam Mir 101, The Dankler, Anticore 7, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.